Thank you so much indeed, Mr. for talking to us today. Driver shortage really is a huge problem. We've been hearing about employment as well, but how can your department help the transport industry?
Well, what we're doing, our National Employer Service team is working closely with the logistics sector and saying, how can we help? What can we do to do training for the retention, for the employment of people? So we're doing a pilot at the moment to say, what would our claimants want to do? Would they be interested in this as a career? So they come along now getting a bit of work experience as a driver's mate, and then is this a path they want to pursue? And from that, we can look at the training to make sure that it is training that's going in a direction of employment and a job. And then locally, we have the Flexible Support Fund. So you'll see different uses of that money locally to address particular issues locally. And that'll usually be sort of short, sharp training, and that will be definitely if there is a job on the table there, or if in that area there is a real need for drivers. So a lot, both nationally and locally.
We're hearing a lot more about apprenticeships today, and it's almost gone full circle since I grew up and started to go into a career as such. But you were First Minister, as I understand it, to actually take on an apprentice. Do you think it's an avenue that, as a whole, has been overlooked?
I think now, whether it's the individual wondering at 18, 19, what am I going to do? Am I going to go to university? Is it a job? Or what about this apprenticeship where I can get a real in-depth knowledge of a business as well as training along the way? I think there's been a drive from the young person. Businesses are wanting people ready to work with them. So I think this alignment again of studying and working on the job is key. And it's just really addressing the concerns of the individual and the business. So we've seen an extra 2 million more apprentices since 2010. And going forward, should we get back in government, we've said there should be another 3 million apprentices and apprenticeships. But really it is about that alignment of your knowledge, your employability skills, and what does a business want.
No, FTA obviously has recognised that and trying to get people, encouraging them to get into the industry. And I know that FTA signed an agreement with the DWP quite recently, actually. How much importance do you put on such agreements?
These agreements are key. We've got 17 across various industries, and we've got the Road Haulage Association as well as your own association, and we've got the Logistics Steering Group, because it's only by having these agreements, by speaking with those industries and those various sectors, that we can say, what can we do? How do we work together? So you'll know what the issues are in your business, and then we'll say, what can government do to address those? So it really is important, I think, for both of us.
Now, obviously, we're talking right across the board, trying to encourage people, not only for driver shortage, but to get people encouraged and involved with the logistics sector. Do you think enough is being done to encourage females, to get women interested in transport as operators, do you think?
Well, when I look at the figures of how many women are working in this sector, you've got about 22% in the logistics sort of in total, but sort of HGV drivers, you've got about 1%. So at the moment, what I also do as a department, as well as working with business in the various sectors, is mapping out what are the jobs of the future, where are the shortages. So yes, we know now we need drivers, but equally in the next 10 years, there's 12 million jobs, some of that in IT, some of it in science, some of it in manufacturing. And then I look who is going into those sectors, and actually women lag behind, say 7% in engineering alone. So we've started a campaign called Not Just for Boys, and it really is reaching out to young girls to say, have you considered this as a profession? And you know what? Sometimes people just don't know what those jobs are. You say logistics and people think, but what is that? I've been meeting with a couple of women in Warrington. Their company's called Horsepower, and they are teaching women to be HGV drivers. I met a fantastic lady, Jane Weaver, who's got AYS Logistics in the Midlands. So it's about understanding what people are doing. It is about them sharing their experiences, and it is about them being a role models, yes, to girls, but to boys as well.
But hearing about organisations like Horsepower, Esther, must be encouraging though for you in your role.
Yes, it is. I'm always amazed what people are doing. I want to see what they're doing. They're excited about their job. They want young people to get involved. And that's another thing why apprenticeships are key. When we speak to businesses, why has apprenticeships worked for them? That 80% of them have said, because that is the future of our industry and it will really affect our talent pool going forward. And 70% of them have said, actually, with apprenticeships, we think we've got a better product at the end of the day. So it's looking at the trends going forward, looking at that sort of new jobs and new ideas of the future. So for us, between the logistics, between government, it's got to be about a win-win.
Esther McVey, thank you very much for your time today.